Hi everyone, I'm Lou. Welcome to my channel and welcome to your December 2023 forecast. So these are a general astrology and tarot card reading. I do recommend that you watch for your rising sign first, okay? That's going to be the most accurate, and then you can watch your sun sign and your moon sign if you want to fill in the extra details. Please do subscribe to my channel. That really helps me to continue to make these forecasts. And as always, I wish to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land that I'm doing this reading from, the Gumbaynggirr people, and recognize their continued connection to their culture and country. And I pay my respects to the elders past, present, and emerging. Let's do it. Hello there, Cancer. Welcome to your December 2023 reading. Let's open up the reading with Claim Your Power. Yes. I really like that. That's an awesome card to get. Particularly, it is the month of where you have your annual full moon. So that's happening at the end of the month. That's happening on the 26th of December. But it's important for you. It's a really important moon every year for you. And it's a time when we can release and surrender a lot. You can release and surrender a lot of baggage or a lot of, do like an emotional decluttering, particularly in order to claim your power. Now, this month we're in Sagittarius season, which is the house of, which represents your sixth house, your house of, your health and your well-being, as well as your work environment, your daily routines, as well as your own personal self-mastery. And we have Mars there for the whole month until January. Into January, Mars will be there really powering up that sixth house. So you may be looking at a work situation. It could be for you, or it could be a health situation or something to do with your daily lifestyle, your routine, your activities. And claiming your power is really telling you to bring back your sense of control over the situation in terms of looking at what you have control of. So your sphere of control is going to be important for you, Cancer. Recognizing the things that are outside of that sphere of control and recognizing the things that are inside the sphere of control and focusing on those. So whatever's outside of the sphere of control is things like other people, things like the actual work you're doing may not be within your power of control, okay? Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not, depends what job you're doing. The weather, the economy, like those kinds of things are not within your power of control, but how you respond to them are. And if this is a health situation as well, if health things are coming up for you this month, recognize that your physical body is within your sphere of control. It may feel like it's not, particularly if you're struggling, if you're battling with health conditions. It feels like your body is against you, but it's actually not. And you actually can control it. And that's that tapping into your mind over matter, your ability to utilize your thoughts, your focus, your emotions to influence your physical body and your physical realm. So what that brings me into is the major thing that's happening this month is Mercury retrograde. So that starts in your 7th house, actually, in Capricorn, okay? On the 13th of December. And so that activates your 7th house being the house of partnerships. So your past, present, future partner may be very important for the first part of the Mercury retrograde. But then on the 23rd of December, Mercury will back into Sagittarius and activate that 6th house. And so you'll be doing like the second half. So it will be 50-50 between Capricorn and Sagittarius. So the second half of that Mercury retrograde between the 23rd of December and the 2nd of January, you're going to be looking at this health, life, and lifestyle stuff from the perspective of what your thought patterns, your thought habits, your word habits, your communication habits, what impact they have on either your physical body, your work environment, your lifestyle, okay? Whatever it is that is coming up for you, it could be all of them even. I am doing a separate video. I'm in the process of making a separate video for the Mercury retrograde. that is going to go into depth about this, into more depth. And I've done a separate individual tarot card reading for each zodiac sign just specifically on that transit. And it talks about how to actually deliberately work with it and utilize it for your benefit, because every transit has a shadow side and has a light side as well. And so when we work with them deliberately, with these transits deliberately, we can uplift out of the shadow, we can move into the light, and we can use it to change our lives, particularly Mercury, because Mercury is the planet that we use to create our reality. So it's really important to do that. That's a great way to claim your power, by taking responsibility for your thought habits for how they affect your life and how they create your reality. So you're coming into this reading as the Six of Swords. I like that for you, Cancer. It means you're moving forward. There's forward momentum when the Six of Swords is here. Like I said, at the end of the month, you have that full moon that's in your first house in Cancer. And so that is this like deep surrendering and deep letting go, but it's for the purpose of moving forward, right? It's for the purpose of doing something, of improving your life, of improving yourself, to improve the external environment, to improve your life on an emotional level. So this is great that you're moving forward. I like this with the momentum that is coming through that sixth house. It means that, and with claiming your power, if you take control, if you take your power back, if you take responsibility for your life, that's that self-mastery. That's how we master ourselves, is by taking responsibility for where we're going, for the direction we're heading in, that Six of Swords energy. The environment is giving you a Five of Swords, Cancer. So that means there is conflict. There's going to be situation, or this month's going to feel like there is this inner conflict coming up. And this is why there's this claim your power cards come out, okay? Because with the Five of Swords, often, most of the time, the conflict is coming from within. It may present externally with other people, with your situation, with your environment, with your lifestyle, with your health. It may present like that, but if you were to really detach and really analyze and reflect, which is what the Mercury retrograde will get you to do as you move through that, especially as in the Sagittarius component of it at the end of the month, really analyze and reflect, you will see that the outside chaos, the external chaos, is a reflection of internal chaos, of what's going on inside. Sometimes that can be hard to see, sometimes because we don't want to see it, but sometimes because we all have blind spots, sometimes we just can't see it. And that's why Mercury retrograde is so great, because it does really encourage us to see things that oftentimes we miss, to see our blind spots. It gives us that opportunity, brings it more to the surface so we can see it more clearly, so we can gain clarity on it and we can do something about it. So the environment, if the environment is feeling if you're feeling a lot of conflict this month, Cancer, it is an opportunity. And a great way to reflect on that and to recognize that is by thinking of it as an opportunity to align, to create more harmony within, to create more congruence between your head and heart, or between you and your world, between you and other people as well, because that Capricorn component is going to be bringing other people in. So that's how we claim that power. Instead of blaming other people, blaming our experience, blaming the environment, blaming the economy, we go, no, this is about me, and I'm going to take responsibility for what's going on an internal level. And then as you do that, as you become more powerful through that process, you will start to see your reality shift and change to match you as well. The universe needs you. We've got the Knight of Swords. The universe needs you to be exploring things in that cognitive sense. Like I said with the Mercury retrograde, Mercury is the planet of our mind. It's the planet of our focus. It's the planet of our thought habits, okay? The planet of our words, our communication. So it's how we communicate with other people, but it's also how we communicate with ourselves and how we communicate with the universe. So Mercury encompasses a lot of things, and this is how we create our reality, through this mercurial energy. And so the universe is asking you to really be deliberate with that, to really work in harmony with that Mercury energy, so that you're not just falling into the trap of becoming unconscious, of going blind. See, Mercury retrograde gets a bad rap, right? It's often spoken about as bringing chaos, bringing miscommunication, bringing a lot of confusion, and that's because most people are not approaching life in a deliberate, conscious, aware way, right? So they're not coming at it from this powerful place of being conscious of what's coming up through out of the unconscious, out of the subconscious, but what Mercury is bringing up. And so it feels chaotic, it feels confusing, it feels like, that miscommunication comes from operating in autopilot and not really thinking about how that affects anybody else or how that's going to impact your life. And so the universe is asking you to really be deliberate with your thoughts and your words this month, okay? Particularly during the Mercury retrograde from the 13th onwards. Really paying attention and being deliberate to with your mind. And whether that's communicating with other people or whether that's communicating with yourself, I feel like it's going to be more internal, especially in the Sagittarius component with this 5 of Swords. There may be a lot of internal communication that you weren't even aware of, Cancer. So maybe there's a lot of negative self-talk, a lot of negative dialogue going on for you that Mercury can highlight and show you where you can make some adjustments. See, if you don't come at it from this Knight of Swords energy of like the Knight of Swords really want to take action, right? So they really want to do something about it. Knights are quite restless energy. So they're telling you, the universe is telling you to do something about it, not to just go, not to just let it be and let it all come up and happen to you, right? Is to take that power back and say, I'm going to change this. I'm going to do something about it. I don't like this. I don't like the way this makes me feel. I don't like this effects this has on my life. So that you can shift and change for the purpose of because you are worthy. You deserve it. You deserve to have a good life. Especially, what I'm hearing as well for you, Cancer, is if this is a health issue that's coming up. Not all of you will have health issues. It's not what I'm saying. But if it is a health issue coming up, know that that's coming from the mind. That's coming from a habitual thoughts. It's coming from a place of like negativity or resistance within thought habits that you probably, I'm going to say, do not even realize you're thinking. And that repeated pattern, those repeated thoughts, maybe it's something you repeatedly talk about with your friends or with your colleagues or with anybody in your life, with your partner. You're repeatedly talking about a subject, a topic that is that doesn't fill you with joy or satisfaction or love or abundance or those higher manifesting emotions. If whatever you're continually repeating is not feeling like that, then this is your opportunity to look at that and to look at how the effect that's having on your actual physical body, because it does, right? So everything affects us on layers. It affects us first in the spiritual realm, then in the emotional realm, then on the mental realm, and then on the physical realm. Once it gets to the physical, there's a really big problem. And you have to go back up through that order of realms to heal it. So if you've got a physical ailment, it's time to go into the mental body for that level of healing, and then you'll go into the emotional body, maybe around your full moon on the 26th, will be a good time to go through the emotional component of it, the emotional body, and then it can be healed on the spiritual side, on the next level of healing, the spiritual side, and that will be like the resolution to it. We have the Hierophant. And the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups does suggest that there is this emotional component to it as well. This emotional, like something missing emotionally, which is creating some of this, I don't want to say unstable, but maybe I do. This this just dysregulation within the mind. Oops, that wasn't meant to be on the bottom. There could also be this resistance because you're moving forward. So we got the Six of Swords, you're moving forward. Five of Swords, there's a resistance because change is scary. Change is uncomfortable, and change and growth particularly, can be quite challenging. And so with the Hierophant here, really trying to rise above it and look at it from a bigger perspective, looking at it from the perspective of source energy, but the perspective of your inner being and seeing how they're seeing it. Because when we're in this Five of Swords energy, when this Five of Swords energy comes up in our lives, and especially if you're feeling a lack of power or feeling like a victim, that does indicate that you are separating yourself from your source, separating yourself from your inner being, and that may be the emotional component that's missing. And this is an emotional journey back towards self. Back towards yourself and who you are at the core, and back towards the person you're supposed to be. See, what I really like about this month for you, Cancer, is that Venus will be in Scorpio, which represents your 5th house. So she moves in there on the 5th and will be there until the 30th, so most of the month, which is a really nice place for Venus to be. It's a very pleasing, pleasurable place, and also makes it really easy to tap into your own self-expression and your own authenticity. But if you have any barriers there towards that, if you have any like limiting thought habits particularly, or limiting emotions that do not allow for that momentum to build, then there could be a problem there that arises through the environment. So really looking at where you victimize yourself. The environment may create a situation where you are a victim, but what you need to be doing is looking at where you're victimizing yourself. There's the Tower, yes. So there is going to be some sort of upheaval. And we've got the Queen of Coins on the bottom of the deck telling us that, that this is about a sense of worth. I am feeling, and I felt this when the Hierophant card came out, but I didn't mention it. So I'm feeling that Taurus energy, the Taurus storyline that we've been navigating for the whole year pretty much, is going to be important here, because Queen of Coins and Hierophant are both the card of Taurus, okay? So we have Jupiter in Taurus, we have Uranus in Taurus as well, but Jupiter is in Taurus, bringing you a lot of blessings, and particularly on the 31st of December will move direct. So Jupiter for most of the month will be stationed. Okay, so we'll be standing still in the chart, so that can build very intense energy. And Venus, as Venus moves through Scorpio, will be making an opposition with Jupiter on the 10th of December. That's a really beautiful, harmonious time. It's a very auspicious time. So Jupiter in your 11th house is the house of community. It's the house of the people you belong to, the people that the communities that you belong to, the organizations you belong to. So it's like feeling that sense of belonging, and Jupiter brings you a lot of blessings. So maybe there's somewhere in that space of community within the people that you're like organized communities that you're involved in, like churches or like clubs, or I don't know what you're involved in, but or within just your community in general. It can be an online community that can be a blessing to you, that can be helpful to you, to help you to overcome any of this resistance and self-sabotaging, to help you to find your path of this emotional fulfillment, because it's going to be quite extreme. Tower energy is very extreme. It's a catalyst for growth and a catalyst for change, and there is the possibility to spiral, is what I'm seeing for you, Cancer. You can spiral here during this time, particularly around that full moon in your first house. You could really unravel if you allow yourself to fall into that victimized mentality, allow yourself to fall into the resistance. I feel like I tell you this every month, Cancer, about being pulling yourself out of that victim mode. I don't mean to, but it does seem to be like a common theme that's coming up for you around victimization and being a victim and victim energy, and needing to really take your power back, take your self-control back, take responsibility back. And maybe this Sagittarius season is a good time to do that, because you can start to work on mastering yourself. see what else comes up. So we have bloom where you are planted. Definitely whenever you're dealing with your own power, your own sense of power, we're looking at blooming, okay? Because sometimes we can feel when we've kept ourselves small in order to not be seen, or in order for other people to feel happy, or other people to not be angry with us, or whatever reason, we feel that we are a victim to the world, to another person, to life, whatever. We do not bloom, we do not blossom. And so this claiming your power, stepping into your full potential. Cancer, it's time to step into your full potential here. And that can be life-changing. That can be life-shattering. If you can eliminate this doubt, Five of Swords doubt, particularly through the Mercury retrograde, knowing that the Mercury retrograde has your back, the Mercury retrograde is here to help, okay? And so come at it from this deliberate space, Knight of Swords, okay? And looking for what's missing. What's missing is that potential that is seated within you blooming, being able to reveal it, being able to show it to the world. Venus in the 5th house will help you to do that, help you to be able to be expressive. It's a very creative position for Venus to be in. If you're a creative person, great time to get creative. And as you do that, as you open up, there's a vulnerable space to be in too. Whenever we're opening up and blooming in that way, it is vulnerable because there's so many people out there that want to bring us down. But if you are able to be vulnerable, it can be a catalyst for a lot of change and a lot of growth. The Tower. It can be, the Tower doesn't have to be, and often actually isn't really a negative thing. It's just something very dramatic, very sudden change, something that happens and can feel very chaotic as you go through it. But in the long run, it's all the best for our evolution and for the blooming of into your life experience, into the person you're supposed to be, Cancer, right? Let's move into 2024 being the full expression of ourselves. So I feel like that Five of Swords energy in the environment is really just a conflict between wanting to stay small, wanting to stay safe, wanting to keep yourself protected, and then also wanting to move into this Tower, into your power, and into this blooming energy and really go out there and show yourself to the world, which is some narrative that Cancer always has to deal with, right? That's why you have that shell that you can retreat into to keep you safe. And so you're in that space this month of do I go out into the world or do I go into my shell? And I do think that it would be more beneficial to put yourself out there this month. So during your full moon, this beautiful full moon in your first house, it's going to be extra important, Cancer, that you surrender to divine timing. Sometimes divine timing may differ from your ego's timing. Again, this is this stuff, this ego that we have to be challenged by. You know, our ego can really keep us in that victim mode because it says that it's not safe, right? To move into that more expansive space, to move into that higher perspective, the Hierophant, to see things from a higher lens is not safe to the ego. And the ego's job is to keep us safe. And so it can put in a lot of fear, into a lot of doubt. And divine timing as well is another thing that oftentimes can create a lot of fear and a lot of doubt, because divine timing does not always match up with our own physical reality timing, which can be very frustrating and can be very hard to navigate and can often lead to us giving up when we've almost made it. So if a goal isn't manifesting fast enough according to your ego, be patient and trust the universal flow. Know for you, Cancer, that is what's going on. If you're feeling resistance and feeling chaos, it's not that it's not coming, it's not that you weren't good enough, it's not that you didn't do well enough, it's not that you were a victim to life or a victim to the circumstances that you're in. I feel really strongly there was a lot of twinkles when I said that, of like this being a victim to the circumstances that you're in, feeling very trapped, Cancer. It's not about that, actually. It's just about there's timing that the divine is privy to that we are not. And there is a process that you have to go through as well, which can be really annoying. I do get that. I get really annoyed about it too. but there is like steps that we have to go through, which we want to rush through, but the universe understands that our evolution requires us to go through each step, each bit, each part of the process in order for us to fully feel the richness of it all. So I hope that puts your mind at ease a little bit, Cancer, if things are not coming to you exactly how you want them to this month, and maybe just allowing yourself this month to be with your own mind particularly, and your own thoughts, to observe, to identify, to recognize, and to make change. Okay, so that is your reading for this month, Cancer. Thank you so much for being here with me. Please subscribe to my channel and I will see you next month. Take care.